Hello and a warm welcome to our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV News Cycle in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday made his first budget presentation before a joint session of the National Assembly. Presenting the 2024 appropriation bill to Parliament, President Tinubu unveiled a budget estimate of 27.5 trillion naira. He said the estimate is predicated on the crude oil benchmark price of $77.96 per barrel, daily oil production of 1.78 million barrels per day, and exchange rate of 750 naira to the US dollar for the 2024 fiscal year. Sandra Akpan has details.
According to the President, the 27.50 trillion naira budget proposed expenditure reflects the serious challenges faced by Nigeria and contains key reforms necessary to address them. Giving a breakdown of the 2024 budget, the President said 9.92 trillion naira is for non-debt recurrent expenditure, 8.25 trillion naira for debt service. Capital expenditure stands at 8.7 trillion naira, while the budget deficit is projected at 9.18 trillion naira. The President said the 2024 budget deficit will be financed mainly by new borrowing.
We have adopted a conservative oil price benchmark of $77.96 US per barrel and daily oil production estimate of 1.78 million barrels per day. We have also adopted a naira to US exchange rate of 750 per US dollar for 2024.
Tinubu said the 2024 budget of Renewed Hope was designed to address critical issues to grow the country's economy and end its security woes during the next fiscal year.
The 2024 appropriation has been themed Budget of Renewed Hope. The proposed budget seeks to achieve job-rich economic growth, macroeconomic stability, a better investment environment, enhanced human capital development, as well as poverty reduction and greater access to social security.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, in his opening speech commended President Tinubu's administration's development plans for the country, saying that Nigeria never had such audacious plans since the days of the nation's founding fathers.
We need to acknowledge the specific achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration so far. Those who doubted him initially forgot his track record as the governor of Lagos State from 1999 to the year 2007. And Lagos, of course, is Nigeria's melting pot. Nigerians strongly believe that with the debt profile of the day today, that we are a demand for the job to fix our economy.
In view of this and the related challenge of high level of public debt, the National Assembly will ensure that the 2024 budget includes concrete strategies for sustainable debt management, including measures to increase revenue and control expenditure.
Sandra Akpa, reporting for Global TV News.
Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday said his administration is targeting a 3.76% economic growth in the 2024 fiscal year. This was as he spotlighted national security, local job creation, and poverty reduction as the top priorities of the 2024 appropriation bill, which he called the Budget of Renewed Hope. Addressing the National Assembly, Tinubu promised to overhaul the nation's internal security architecture to enhance law enforcement capabilities to safeguard lives, property, and investments nationwide. He said the proposed budget prioritization human capital development with particular attention given to children because human capital remains the most critical resource for national development. The House of Representatives will suspend plenary for 2 weeks to allow for defense of the 2024 budget by ministries, agencies, and departments of government. Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas announced that the Green Chamber will sit today and tomorrow to debate the 2024 budget due to the urgency of the task. The decision was arrived at plenary on Wednesday following the presentation of the 2024 budget by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The governor of Bayelsa State, Doye Diri, on Wednesday presented the 2024 appropriation bill of 480,993 billion naira crested budget of sustainable and shared prosperity to the House of Assembly for consideration. The 2024 fiscal year's estimates are 41,722 billion naira higher than the approved 2023 budget of 439,271 billion naira currently under implementation by the state government. Further stating that a general analysis of the budget performance as of September 2023 showed that his administration had achieved an overall performance of 73%, where both the recurrent and capital expenditure got due attention. Hooded gunmen on Wednesday killed the Director of Finance to the Ogun State Governor's Office, Taiwo Onyekomi. The accountant was waylaid and shot dead on the popular Kuto Bridge in Abeokuta, less than 3 kilometers from a bank where he had withdrawn a large sum of money for government use. The unknown amount was also taken away by the gunmen. Sources from the government office says that Onyekomi was gruesomely killed a few days after he celebrated his birthday. The sources further reveal that Onyekomi was rushed to the state hospital in Ijaye area of Abeokuta where he breathed his last. The news of his demise has been broken to his family and the secretary to the state government, Tokumbo Talabi, who have paid condolences to his family. Moving to the education sector, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, has announced the date for the 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, registration and examination. The board, in a statement issued on Wednesday by its public communication advisor, Fabian Benjamin, said sale of form would commence from January 15 to February 26, 2024. The statement revealed that the 2024 mock UTME had been scheduled for March 7, while the main UTME will hold from 19th to 29th of April 2024. He added that candidates are expected to print their examination slips as from 10th April 2024. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has offered lower production costs and untapped mineral resources as part of fresh incentives to woo prospective foreign investors. The minister gave the offer at the Mines and Money Conference held in London on Tuesday, according to a statement signed by the Special Advisor Kehinde Bamibeten. Addressing global stakeholders in the mining industry, preached for more investment in Nigeria, listing unique advantages such as lower production costs due to surface mining and billions of dollars in untapped minerals. Alake said the current administration has embarked on reforms to boost investment by streamlining procedures and reducing hurdles to attract foreign investors. He also quoted recent reports that mining contributions to Nigeria's GDP rose from 0.3% to 0.85% last year, indicating a 0.63% year-on-year growth. Alake further urged investors to support the socio-economic development of the communities where they mine to make mining mutually beneficial. Minister of Education Tahir Mamman has called for judicious use of $1.2 billion World Bank loan to tackle adolescent girls' education in Nigeria. Mamman stated this in Abuja on Tuesday while inaugurating the National Steering Committee of the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, AGIL project. The AGIL National Project Coordinator Amina Haruna said the focus was to improve secondary education among girls in targeted area in participating team states. Haruna listed the 18 participating states as Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Ekiti, Gombe, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, Sokoto, Yobe, and Zamfara. She said over 2.4 million girls benefited from the program across 7 states. Also, Shubham Chuduri, the World Bank country director for Nigeria, disclosed that while $500 million was initially approved by the bank, another approval of $700 million had brought the facility to $1.2 billion. The Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, has appealed for tertiary institutions owned by the Ogun State government to reduce fees payable by students. The students of TAI's Solarin University of Education, Ajogun, and those of Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Abeokuta, recently took to the streets to protest the hike in fees by the learning institutions. During plenary on Wednesday, the minority leader and lawmaker representing Odogbolu State Constituency, Lukman Adeleye, called the Assembly's attention to the sudden rise in fees and the protests that greeted the development. Reacting, Oluomo acknowledged the adverse effect of the economic challenges being faced by parents currently, adding that though the institutions might have a compelling need to increase their fees to meet their pressing needs, given the high rate of inflation, the fees should be affordable. You're watching Global TV News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We are on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the news cycle returns, nations urge to phase out fossil fuel at the UN climate talks. That's on the foreign scene, and the news continues shortly with details of these and other stories right after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back from the break. The United Nations Climate Conference opens in Dubai today, with nations urged to increase the pace of action on global warming and phase out fossil fuel amid intense scrutiny of oil-rich host, the United Arab Emirates. The 2-week-long climate negotiations held this year in the glitzy Gulf city come at a pivotal moment, with emissions still rising and this year likely to be the hottest in human history. Britain's King Charles III, world leaders, activists and lobbyists are among more than 97,000 people expected to attend what is being billed as the largest climate gathering of its kind. Scientists say the world is not on track to achieve these targets, and nations must make faster and deeper cuts to emissions to avert the most disastrous impact of climate change. A truce between Israel and Hamas will continue, both sides said on Thursday, moments before the deal was due to expire, though details of any official agreement remained unclear. Minutes before the halt in fighting was due to expire at 500 hours GMT. Israel's military said the operational pause would be extended without specifying for how long. In the meantime, Hamas has announced there was an agreement to extend the truce for the 7th day without further details. Qatar, which has led the truce negotiations, confirmed the pause had been extended until Friday. At least 13 people were killed in a hostel fire that broke out in Kazakhstan's largest city, Almaty, before sunrise on Thursday, according to the city's emergencies department. In the course of the reconnaissance and extinguishing the fire, 13 dead were initially discovered and their identities are being established, the department said in a statement. Primarily, they died of carbon monoxide poisoning, the emergency department said that 72 people were staying at the hostel at the time of the fire, 59 of whom had safely evacuated. The cause of the incident is under investigation. And moving into the world of business, President Bola Tinubu has disclosed that the federal government made 8.65 trillion naira revenue between January and September of 2023. He disclosed this while presenting a budget of 27.5 trillion naira for the 2024 year to the National Assembly for approval. From a budget of 27.5 trillion naira for 2024, the federal government plans to generate 18.32 trillion naira as revenue for 2024, leaving a deficit of 9.18 trillion naira in 2024, or 3.88% of gross domestic product. Presenting the budget of renewed hope, the president said its main focus was on national defense, internal security, local job creation, and macroeconomic stability. He noted that the budget is made up of 9.92 trillion naira non-debt recurrent expenditure and 8.7 trillion capital expenditure, while 8.25 trillion naira was for debt service. For effective and full implementation of Audit Regulations 2020, Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, Rabiu Olowo, said the council would commence quality control review and inspection of auditors of public interest entities in January 2024. Olowo, who disclosed that at a roundtable in Lagos, said the council, in its bid to strengthen audit regulation, enhance audit quality, and ensure that audit opinion issued by auditors in Nigeria is acceptable globally, is on the verge of concluding its membership registration with the International Forum of Independent Audit Regulators. Olowo said the FRC has witnessed concerning evidence that numerous entities and government institutions are falling short of the high standards expected of them under the FRC Act 2011. Brent crude hits $83 per barrel as the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, meets today. A review of global oil prices revealed that Brent crude was trading at $83.60 at 7:47 a.m. GMT on Thursday, November 30th. This is the first time Brent crude has reached $83 as crude producers have been gearing up for the OPEC meeting, which was postponed due to a delay in some oil producers in Africa demanding higher oil production baselines. African members of OPEC were given a choice: either comply with the reduced oil production quotas or demonstrate increased production capacity by a specified deadline by November 2023. Despite their efforts to showcase improved production capabilities, African oil-producing nations still face substantial cuts in their production allocation. This has led to disputes and concerns about potential impact on their oil industries. The federal government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, has stated that it hopes to produce around 31 million metric tons of grains in 2024 as part of efforts to combat food inflation across the country and address President Tinubu's food security emergency. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, stated this during the opening session of the 6th edition of Seed Connect Conference and Exhibition with the theme Global Declaration of Food Emergency, the role of the seed industry and ensuring Africa's food and nutrition security. Aliyu said the federal government has earmarked 5 crops for ambition in 2024 and stated that the over 300,000 worth of seeds have been provided to the farmers. The Nigerian Supreme Court has ruled that the old Naira notes will remain legal tender of the country till further notice. In addition, the federal government also filed for an extension for the old Naira note on November 21st, 2023. Meanwhile, the federal government explained that if the Supreme Court rejects its plea to extend the circulation duration of the old note, the nation could face a renewed threat of national economic and financial crisis. In its ruling, the highest court ruled in Abuja that the note will remain legal tender and be accepted for transaction until further notice. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, says the short-term focus of the federal government in the power sector is to prioritize metering, electricity distribution and transmission to enhance power supply nationwide. He disclosed this during the third roundtable on enforcement of technical standards, regulations, and mandate of the Nigeria Electricity Management Services Agency. According to a statement from the Power Ministry, Adelabu highlighted the upcoming power sector strategy roadmap, emphasizing a bottom-up approach to prioritize impact over the previous top-down strategies. And running to the exciting world of sports, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has confirmed the city of Marrakesh, Morocco, as the venue for the CAF Awards 2023, scheduled for December 11th. According to a statement on the CAF website on Wednesday, the awards will celebrate the continent's top achievers in what is expected to be a spectacular affair. It said the awards recognize exceptional performances in both club and national competitions, culminating in the prestigious titles of the CAF African Player of the Year in both men's and women's category. The Super Eagles will camp in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, to prepare for the 2024 African Cup of Nations, AFCON, built to hold in Côte d'Ivoire next year, the Nigerian Football Federation has said. NFF Media Director Ademola Olajire said the Federation is working on Super Eagles program for the Nations Cup, which is less than 3 months away. That's it on a Global TV News Circle. We are on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Anthony Momodu saying thank you for watching and see you soon.